I call the honourable member Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Chairman, and pleased to speak yet again on this very important bill in the committee stages. And Mr Chairman, in part one, the critical issue is the change that it makes in terms of the existing Act, which has not yet come into force, in relation to the oversight that the Minister effectively provides to permit seekers when they are having their permit approved for, presently it would be for both prospecting and exploration. And so what the change does is to split that up and require a separate approval, at least in terms of the health and safety and environmental measures, splits it between the prospecting stage and then a separate approval of health and safety and environmental measures for the exploration stage. And so our concern simply is this. We know, and I don't think there is too much disagreement actually between members in this House, especially in light of the events of the last 2 or 3 years, that health and safety is absolutely paramount. Absolutely paramount for those who work in the industry and indeed the communities that they are part of. And then the other aspect is, of course, environmental. And the events of 2011 off the Bay of Plenty tells us that the public's demand for the most effective and world's best practice environmental safeguards is expected. And so the question we then ask, well, what is it about the measures that is in this bill and the splitting up of the approval process for the health and safety and environmental safeguard measures, what is it in this bill and the way that it splits it up that is going to do, that is going to improve what is already there? And the reality is it won't. And the reason for that is twofold. First of all, the present law that we passed only a short while ago and that is not yet in force is reasonably light in terms of the standard that the Minister is obliged to require when considering approval of a permit. And that is simply that the Minister needs to be satisfied that the permit applicant is likely to have the appropriate technical capability, is likely to have the financial capability, and then any other relevant information. And that is the Minister being satisfied that these criteria are likely to be met. It's a pretty low test. And not only that, it's a subjective test, because it is the applicant's means, the potential permit holder's means, that is relevant. So it is the Minister's satisfaction is confined to the particular applicant. It's not about meeting an industry minimum standard or a world's best practice standard. It's what the particular permit applicant can do. So that is a low test. So then to split that, and presently it says that when the Minister is given the approval, the Minister has to be satisfied that the appropriate health and safety and environmental measures are in place for both prospecting and for exploration. By splitting it up, it means that the successful permit holder need only provide satisfaction in relation to the prospecting part, and at that point has a foot in the door. Has a foot in the door. And so if, having prospected, they gather the data and they decide this is worth taking to the next phase, the exploration stage, then it is incumbent upon a Minister of the day to say to a permit holder who comes back and says, right, well, we've done the prospecting, we're satisfied there's enough there to move to the exploration stage, to start drilling, to bring down our rig, and those rigs can cost up to $1 million a day. The Minister then must deal with the permit holder and is then expected to hold them to a further test about health and safety and environmental measures. And I am just saying, Mr Chairman, that on the track record of this government that has shown no ability, no intestinal fortitude to stand up to corporate heavyweights from around the world, why would we rely on the government, this government, or frankly any government, to be able to withstand the sort of pressure that large multinational enterprises can bring to bear on a... Mr Chairman.
I call the honourable member Cam Calder.
No,
I move that the question be now put.
No. I'm going to call the honourable member Mary Ann Street.
Thank you very much.